What is going on, everybody? My name is Cortlandia, and I am back to walk you through Osiris Raffle Bot 2.0. If you had a chance to watch my 1.0 guide, I showed you everything that you needed to know in order to get set up and start entering raffles. In this video, I'll show you all the new features that were added with this update and how to use them correctly. Let's get right into it. Diving in, you can tell that the biggest difference in this update is going to be the user interface. I think that the dev team did a really good job with it. It looks really nice and everything's super organized. They also added quite a few different tools and features that make the experience a little bit more user-friendly. All these tabs except for the email scraper tool and the win checker tool existed in the previous version. Those two tools are new to Osiris, but the concept should be fairly familiar. The task tab was removed from the menu and was replaced by these awesome task groups. I really like the way that this was laid out. This makes everything much easier to organize, and I no longer have to scroll through a long ass list just to find something. The settings tab is still located at the bottom left hand corner of the screen. To open it up, just click this little cog icon right here. Almost everything in this tab is going to be identical to the previous version. You're still going to find access to your Osiris key, your Discord webhook, all of your API keys for captchas and address gen, and your import and export configuration buttons. If you were smart enough to listen to staff and export your configuration from the previous version when they told us to, you can import that with this button here. Just click the import config button, find the file you exported from the last version, and you should be good to go. I recommend that you use your export configuration button every so often just so you keep a good backup of all your info on hand. The devs also added this open logs folder. You no longer have to search your console to find your logs. You can just hit this button to find them. If you're new to Osiris and you haven't learned how to find your CAPTCHA keys or your Bing Maps key, refer back to my 1.0 guide. Everything you'll need to know is going to be located there. I'll make sure to leave the link to that video down in the description. Now we can move on and let's check out the emails tab. My favorite part about the new version so far is that you can finally group your lists together. This makes staying organized super simple. To create a new group, all you're gonna do is hit this new group button down here at the bottom. Name that whatever you like. I'm gonna name it Outlooks and hit create. Then you can go over here, open that group up, hit the plus icon to create a new email list. Name that list whatever you'd like. I'm gonna name it Outlooks 1. Paste my emails into there and hit create. These three buttons on the right of that email list allow you to rename, duplicate, move, or remove that. If you open it up, you can still do everything you could in the last version. To split your lists, all you gotta do is hit the split button up top and you can break those down into smaller groups. I think all of the tabs in Osiris have this help button now, so if you're unsure of how to format something, just refer here for help. This is the Accounts tab. In 1.0, there was no good way of structuring your lists, but now it's super easy to do so. You can break down all of your account lists by specific group. I have all my accounts broken down by what specific retailer they go to. If we go ahead and open up one of these groups, you're gonna see that all the lists for that group are gonna be down here listed below. If we open up one of those specific lists, you're gonna see what accounts live in there. So here we have my 100 Shopify accounts. I have 4 Darkside's website, but I also have the Instagram accounts I need to enter raffles with. Generating your account list is the exact same as it was in the previous version. Go ahead and create a new group, create a new list under that group, and then find whatever module you're gonna be using. Go ahead and go to the top right corner of your screen and find the Generate Accounts button. It's gonna bring up this Generate Accounts module. Everything you're going to do here is going to be the exact same as 1.0. They went ahead and consolidated your Shopify account tasks into this tab. So if you have to reset passwords for your Shopify accounts, this is where you're going to find it. You're no longer going to have to set up different tasks in order to run that. Everything you need to do is going to be based out of this module. In the Proxies tab, we have one new feature. If you go ahead and open up one of your lists and head to the top right corner of the screen, you're going to see this new button. It's called Remove Duplicates. This essentially just removes duplicate proxies from your specific list. That's really the only difference between this new version and the previous one. To create new proxy lists, you're just going to create a new group, copy and paste those proxies into a new list under that group, and you're good to go. In the Addresses tab, everything's almost identical to the last version as well. The only new button that they added is this Import from AYCD button here at the top right. If you want to export addresses directly from AYCD, make sure that you export that configuration file in the correct format for Osiris. Osiris isn't listed as an export option, so just use the AYCD format. It'll match up correctly with Osiris's format. The Profiles tab is self-explanatory if you've used Osiris before. If you're new, go back and watch that 1.0 guide and learn how to use everything correctly. I'm not going to cover anything else in this tab because it is identical to the previous version. I'm going to cover these 4 tools at the end of this video, but now we can check out our task groups. All of our task groups are going to be located down here on the left-hand side of the screen. We're able to search for a specific task group. We can expand or minimize our task group. These 3 buttons here allow you to rename, remove, or duplicate those groups. And then we have these 5 new little status icons. We used to only have 3, but the gray one here tells you how many tasks are in that group. The blue one lets you know how many are active. The purple informs you how many captchas are requested, and then you have your failed and successful entries. This little button allows you to reset all your stats nice and easily. To create a new task group, go ahead and click the new task group button down here at the bottom. Name this whatever you like. I like to name them based off whatever retailer I'm running. For this example, I'm going to make a task group named Undefeated and hit create. Then it's going to bring you to essentially what is the old task tab. Everything here is pretty straightforward. To create a new task, click the add task button at the top right. Then you're going to choose what module you want to use. Since I've made this task group for Undefeated, I'm going to be using launches. So go ahead and find launches. This is the task fill out form. You'll input all your raffle info here just like you would in the previous version. Nothing has changed with that. There's a few new task settings that allow you to alter the way your entries get in. We've got the limit setting and the concurrent setting. The limit setting simply allows you to choose the amount of runnable tasks. By default, this is set at 1. If you change that to 20, your task will automatically stop entering once it gets 20 entries in. This concurrent task setting is actually super helpful. It allows you to control how many entries are going to enter at one specific time. You'll really only ever use this when you're running fast tasks for flash raffles. This morning I started running my tasks pretty late for a Nitro raffle. I upped this setting to 25 to get all of my entries in before the raffle closed, and it worked flawlessly. In 1.0, this setting was set at 10 by default, so 10 of your tasks would enter at once. Once all your info is in here, just hit submit down at the bottom right to create those tasks. So once you've made a few tasks, if you simply right click one of them, it pulls up another drop down menu with all the things you're allowed to do. Like the last version here, you can start, stop, edit, duplicate, or remove your task. They also added 3 new things here. Here you can fast restart, or show the logs for that specific task. The difference between restarting a task and fast restarting a task is that when you fast restart a task, that task will specifically just restart the failed entries. Hitting restart will restart the entire task from the beginning. This allows us to easily enter failed entries again without having to worry about getting filtered. If you hit the live logs, it just brings you to your task logs. This will just show you all of your error codes, your successful entries, other details. If you're getting a lot of failed entries, be sure to look into this. 9 times out of 10, the solution to your failed entries will be found here. One of the new tabs that they added in the menu is the email scraper. This tool allows us to scrape our emails to collect links. Previously, we had to use several different Chrome extensions, and it was a super tedious process. To use the email scraper, all you got to do is hit email list, add your credentials for whatever email you want to scrape. Close that menu, select your email, press next, and it's going to bring up this dialog box. All you got to do is import some keywords to help you filter through your emails. This is super helpful when you're trying to scrape email verification links for raffles that you have to confirm your entries with. Then once you've input all that info, all you got to do is hit scrape. It's going to do its thing. And since I wasn't actually scraping anything, I'm not going to have any results. The email verifier kind of works hand in hand with the email scraper. Once you've scraped a bunch of links from the email scraper, you can then import them into the email verifier. It has a couple different modules here, so whichever raffle you're entering, make sure you find out which one they use. For example, we're going to use the link opener. Copy and paste the verification links that you've gathered through the scraper into this link dialog. Choose a list of proxies and then simply hit verify. This is just going to go through and open all of those links and confirm your entries. The win checker was also added in this version. In the previous version, we had some sort of rendition of this. This allows you to just check your accounts and see if you got any raffle wins from select retailers. Currently, the only 2 retailers that are listed in this are going to be Adidas and Sakai. This is super straightforward. I'm not even going to touch base on this. The Spoof Browser tool is the exact same as it was in the previous version. It essentially allows you to open up a bunch of different browser windows based off of different proxies. To use it, simply hit new group, name that. I'm going to name this Yeezy Supply. Input that URL, copy and paste some proxies into the proxy field and hit create. If you press start all, you're going to see that there are 25 windows for easy supply that pop up. Over here to the top right, you can add more browsers. You can select them all, deselect them all. You can select a few and press start. You can clear your cache, edit the URL, change the proxy, etc. One more notable addition to Osiris in 2.0 is the addition of Google Sign-On. Some sites have recently changed the way they host raffles, which now allows that you log into each of your Gmails in order to enter them. The Google Sign-On module logs into each account and saves their user sessions so that they can enter those raffles. Doing so puts your accounts at risk, especially if they're using different proxies than those that were used to create the accounts. Use this at your own risk. Osiris has posted an in-depth guide in their Discord. Check that out if you're interested in entering those raffles. That's almost everything that you guys need to know about Osiris Raffle Bot 2.0. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope this answers a lot of the questions that you may have. Feel free to like and subscribe to my channel. I'll be posting more guides from various bots in the future. Thank you again, and I'll catch you next time.